I'll do a guide. We're gonna do it right now. What is every item Rengar builds? Opportunity, Tiamat, Ghostblade, Eclipse, Armor Pen item. All I can do is basically give you an outline of what every item does and in which situations they're good. It's kind of up to you to find those situations in your games and then, I don't know, start cooking something when you start wanting to build stuff. First items. Okay, the only items that I would consider first right now are rushing Opportunity. You can rush Tiamat, that's fine. You can rush Ghostblade, that's fine. I personally don't do it. It's fine though. Opportunity recently got buffed a few patches ago, and it kind of just does way more damage than Ghostblade these days. You can rush Eclipse, that's an option. You can rush Hubris, that's also an option. Cyclosword is also an item you can rush. So those items are the items you can rush first. Opportunity is good if you just want a cookie cutter build that you want to just turn your brain off and build every game. That's fine. Opportunity is a great item. You can do that. Tiamat gives you flexibility. Tiamat is typically better in slower games where there's not a lot of fighting because it helps speed up your clear, and it also helps you take grubs a lot faster if you move all the grubs close together and then you AoE them down. Ghostblade Rush is fine, you can do it. It's kind of like Opportunity, it's a lethality item. The only trade-off is you're losing damage for movement speed. It's up to you. If that suits what you want, do it. Eclipse is a really underrated item. You could pretty much get away with Eclipse every single game if you want to. It's a really good item. I typically only build it in scenarios where I'm trying to skirmish or fight against a lot of bruisers, where I think I want the max health damage and I also value the shields. Hubris is an item that you build if you know you're going to drop 20 kills. So I probably wouldn't even recommend building it at all if you're like picking up Rengar for the first time, because you probably don't know how to like get that many kills in a game. But yeah, Hubris is your snowball item. So if they have like 5 squishy champions that every time you press ult you're going to get a kill, Hubris can be good. Cyclosword. So this is a fun item. I would only pair this item if you take Fleet as a rune because they synergize together. I wouldn't recommend going Cyclosword if you're like below Master, because it's an item it's hard to use perfectly because you have to, first of all, it's an expensive item. To actually complete the item, it costs like 963 gold or something. So that could be really awkward. It also builds out a pickaxe, which is kind of awkward. Tiamat is probably always going to be your second item. The only time that you don't rush Tiamat second is if you're going Hubris, in which case, if you're going Hubris, you most likely want to be rushing Axiomarch second. Now, you can go Hubris Tiamat into Axiomarch, that's fine, but Hubris Axiomarch are 2 snowball items that kind of feed off of each other. So Hubris, you get trophies or whatever when you get kills. Axiomarch gives you lower ultimate cooldown when you get a kill. So they snowball each other. Let's talk about Serpent's Fang. Serpent's Fang is a great item if the enemy is starting to build a lot of shields, or if they have a lot of shields in their kit. So like if they have items like Locket, Eclipse, Sterix, Seraphs, Shield Bow, if the AD carry has Barrier. Like if they have like a combination of those things, Serpents can get a lot of value. Or if they have like champions like Karma or Ivern, I would typically like to build Serpents either second or third in that case. But you can also build it like later on in the game if they start building shield items. Edgenite. Edgenite is one of those items where when you need it, you need it. It enables you to play the game. It allows you to play the game if they have champions that counter you. So if they have Poppy, Wukong, or just champions that can cancel your leap and they can stop you from jumping on someone, you're gonna need Edgenite. See, the thing about Edgenite is it enables you to jump on people and one-shot them. But the thing is, if you're not fed enough to one-shot them in the first place, what's the point of getting that target access, right? You might just be better off building a second item that does damage and then build Edgenite third, so that way by the time you complete Edgenite, you can actually one-shot the people you want to jump on. Make sense? Because if you get Edgenite second, you probably don't have the damage to one-shot people, and it's like, what's the point? Armor Pen items. So this is Lord Dominic's, Grudge, Mortal Reminder, Black Cleaver. Mortal Reminder is good in most games because it gives you Grievous Wounds. And in most games, Grievous Wounds is pretty useful to pick up. It also has like 35% armor pen and a decent amount of AD, so Mortal Reminder is probably like the most popular item. You buy it if they have healing. Grudge can be good if you need CDR. So like if you're going a low CDR build like Tiamat Opportunity into Ghostblade and you don't have any CDR items, Grudge could be good. Lord Dominic's is pretty rare when I buy this because it needs to be in situations where you don't need Grievous Wounds and you don't need CDR and you just want like the raw armor pen. Black Cleaver. I would not build Black Cleaver unless your team is literally full AD and you need to go Bruiser. Black Cleaver is good when your team is full AD because it shreds the target's MR, which obviously benefits everyone on your team. Death Stance could be like the best item in the game in some situations. It can prevent you from getting one-shot. So like when you jump in and they try and one-shot you after you jump in, Death Stance will keep you alive. And some people might think it's counterintuitive with Rengar because the way your healing works. So Death Stance, it spreads out the damage you take over time, if that makes sense. So if you take 1,000 damage, 33% of it will be dealt to you over time instead of right away. And that hurts your healing because your healing is based on how much damage you take. But the thing is, if you go Death Stance, you're going to be able to stay alive long enough to get multiple rotations off of your W. So you're going to get more healing out in the end. And it synergizes with Rengar because Death Stance, when you take damage over time, it also keeps you in combat, which means you can keep your stacks longer. Spear Visage. This is a really situational item when you're going Bruiser. So probably games where you're going like Black Cleaver and the enemy has a lot of, I would say, AP damage because it gives you magic resist. But if they have a lot of burst AP damage and you're getting a lot of value with your W, then you can get an insane amount of value with Spear Visage because obviously the bonus healing. This would be something you build probably 3rd or 4th. Infinity Edge. It's really rare. I don't even know if it's worth talking about. So the only time that I see myself building Infinity Edge in this meta is if I'm like rushing Opportunity into Profane Hydra and then I need Lord Dominic's 3rd and then I'll complement Lord Dominic's with Infinity Edge 4th. That's about it. Bloodthirster. Yeah, you also kind of rarely buy this item too. If you do, it's going to be like last, and it's going to be in situations where you just value lifesteal, if that makes sense. Boots. The Assassin boots are going to be Lucidity boots and Boots of Swiftness. Lucidity boots is probably the most popular because Rengar's first 2 items usually don't have CDR in them unless you go Cyclosword or Hubris or Eclipse, so you'll want some CDR, but Boots of Swiftness can be really good if you get the tier 3 boots, because they give you attack damage based on how much movement speed you have. And then the defensive boots, Ninja Tabby and Merc Treads, I would only build those in situations where you're going Bruiser. Oh, you missed the runes. Okay. I'll talk about runes. Okay, sorry. Fleet. Extremely versatile. Hard to use because you have to know your limits and know when to... You kind of just have to know how to play with Fleet. There's not really any other way to explain it. Wouldn't recommend below Master. Conqueror. Straightforward. Good rune in most games below Master because there's a lot of sloppy fighting. And it's also a rune you can turn your brain off and just use effectively. Electrocute. Also straightforward. Good rune against squishies. 3-4 squishy champs. Squishy jungler. Phase Rush. OP rune against heavy slow comps with no hard CC. So like Ashe, Karthus, Gangplank, Kindred, Anivia. Make sense? You guys following this? So lots of slows that make you want to jump off a bridge if you get slowed. Zillion, that's another big one. Zillion. Zillion can't do anything against you if you have Phase Rush. But if you don't have Phase Rush, Zillion's gonna run circles around you and you're gonna lose your mind. Make sense? Alright, what other runes do we use? First Strike. I don't recommend using this At all B, I can't type because it's nerfed 3 times in a row and they removed Futures Market. Hail of Blades, Dark Harvest. Don't. There you go. There's the runes. Okay, now let me talk about other things. Assassin runes. Fleet is good in both Assassin and Bruiser. Conk is good in both Assassin and Bruiser. Electrocute is only Assassin. Phase Rush is mainly Assassin. First Strike is Assassin only. Make sense? It might be a win trade, honestly. He's done that like 3 for 3 objectives. He gets caught right before we fight for the objective. Interesting. I right-clicked him and it didn't jump off. Good cannon ult. GG. Ooh, he's ganking top even without touching his bot side camps? Interesting. This Nunu, like, both his top and mid are literally dropping waves to rotate to every single one of his calls. And then I have 2 laners that don't move under any circumstances. It's a bit unfair. Like, our mid is up 20 CS, 3 tower platings, and he's playing Victor. Yeah, he's gonna be weaker than Katarina early game. That's just how that works. Katarina is dropping waves and rotating. She's doing her job. Victor is farming and getting gold. He's doing his job. That doesn't mean that he's getting gapped because their mid has had more impact than our Victor in the first 10 minutes of the game. Just shut up, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, that's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. It's not even like well thought out. They just want to say words. Good job, team. Good job, Mordekaiser. Should be able to get tier 2 out of that. Maybe not. Brahm's OP. I want to go in this push because that one's warded. I need this Alex Blaze guy to start playing though. I can kill this Yorick relatively fast. I just can't get on to the person I want to jump on. Unbelievable. Well, boss baby, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Alright, we get level 16 off of this red. That'll be insane. Then we can find good ways to approach fights.
The scent of prey.
There's no reason to push that wave. Like, I know you want to, but it's bad. Like... Oh, this Nunu's out of his mind. What is he doing? Alright, well, we just won the game, I guess. GG. Had a few intimate moments, but